In this project, I am going to create Angular Infinity Scroll. In the screen, you are seeing the final output of this project. We also created a blog post. You can download the entire project by clicking this button, Download Code. Links to all the dependencies are also given in this post. You can find step-by-step explanation of this project here. Link to this blog post is added in the video description. Please check it out. Okay, now create an Angular project. Let's run that project. Okay, now I am going to open that project. Okay, everything works. Now open app folder. And open app.component.html and delete all this code. Now go to app.component.ts and delete this title variable. We need few dependencies for this project. The first one is ngx-infinite-scroll. Second one is ngx-spinner, Bootstrap, jQuery. Okay, first let's install ngx-infinite-scroll. Okay, let's copy this code. Now paste it in the terminal. This will install ngx-infinite-scroll into our project. Okay, go to app.model.ts and inside the imports, let's type infinite scroll model. We need to import this model. Import infinite scroll model from ngx-infinite-scroll. Okay, now install ngx-spinner. It's the same process, just copy and paste it in the terminal. This will install ngx-spinner to this project. We also need to import ngx-spinner model. Now import ngx-spinner model from ngx-spinner. Now we are going to install Bootstrap. You don't have to install Bootstrap, it's just a CSS framework. If you are working with another CSS framework, you don't have to install Bootstrap. Now let's install jQuery. We are not using jQuery. If we do not install jQuery while using Bootstrap, it will show some error. We are installing jQuery only for Bootstrap. We are not using any functions from jQuery. Now open angular.json file. Inside styles array, add bootstrap.min.css. In scripts, first add jQuery.js. Also, we need to add bootstrap.js. The order is very important. First, we have to add jQuery, then Bootstrap. Otherwise, it will show some error. Open app.component.html. I am going to create an HTML template for this project. I am using Bootstrap framework for creating this template. You can use CSS. I prefer using Bootstrap. These are all Bootstrap classes. I'm creating a Bootstrap card. You can find this code on Bootstrap official website. This got three parts: a title, a button, and a paragraph. Let's fill this paragraph with the dummy text. Let's run this project. I forgot to add constructor class. It's just a Bootstrap class. Now save it and run the project again. Now everything looks good. Open app.model.ts. Inside imports, type HTTP client module. Now import HTTP client module from Angular HTTP. These are all the imports we needed for this project. Now go to app.component.ts, implement onInit. Now also import onInit from Angular core. Now add a constructor. And inject HTTP client. You have to import HTTP client also. Now we want to create a function ngOnInit. Let's create ngOnInit. Now I am going to create a new method named loadInitialPost. Inside this method, I am going to load the initial 6 posts. This is the API endpoint. Now I am going to make an HTTP GET request to retrieve JSON data. Now console log this data. Now I'm going to save this data into a variable called allPost. AllPost was not initialized. Okay, now initialize allPost. Now all the data is saved into this variable allPost. Okay, now call this method inside ngOnInit. This dot load init post. Now whenever the project loads, this method will be called. So let's check the console and see the output data. Now go to console. As you can see, our output is an array. Inside the array, there is another array. And inside that array, we got 6 JavaScript objects. We are saving this array into all post variable. Next, I am going to loop through all post variable using ngFor and add this data into our HTML template. Open app.component.html. We are going to loop this cart using ngFor. So add ngFor, let post of all post. Now we are looping this cart 6 times. You can see there is 6 posts now. Now we are going to change the title. With the help of string interpolation, we are going to add the name and ID of the post. Also change the description. Post.dis. This will get the description from the Json data from server. Now we can see that it's showing the post name and the ID of the post. Also the description is changed and it is all coming from backend now. Next step is to add ngxinfinite-scroll into app.component.html. We are adding a special div provided by ngxinfinite-scroll. You should make sure that every other div is inside this div, then only this will work. All the posts should be inside this div. This div comes with an event scrolled. Whenever user scrolls and reaches the end of this page, onScroll method will be called. You can find more about these attributes in the official documentation. Next step is to create a onScroll method inside app.component.ts. Let's create this method onScroll. Inside this method, add console.log scrolled. Save the code. Now go to Google Chrome and open the console. We are going to check if everything is working. As you can see, whenever we reach the end, the scroll is printed on the console. This means whenever scroll bar reaches the bottom, onScroll method is called. Remove this console log scrolled and open app.component.html. I am going to add ngx spinner right after ngx-infinite-scroll div. Let's create a new Bootstrap row and a column. Inside that column, add ngx spinner tag. ngx spinner tag comes with different attributes. You can edit all these attributes. For example, color, you can change the color of the spinner. You can also change the type, also the size, etc. Go back to app.component.ts and inside constructor inject ngx spinner service. Also import ngx spinner service. ngx spinner service is now imported. Inside onScroll method, type this.spinner.show. This show method will display the spinner. Now let's save this and go to Google Chrome. As you can see, the spinner is showing and everything is working. Now go back to VS Code and we will remove this code for now. I'm going to add two new variables, not empty post, and set it to true, and not scrolly, also set that to true. Inside the onScroll method, let's create an if condition and check not scrolly and not empty post are true. Now display ngx spinner, then set not scrolly to false and call a method load next post. As you can see, this if condition is only going to work when not scrolly and not empty post is true. This.spinner.show will display the spinner, and now we are going to set not scrolly to false. Initially not scrolly is true. Now we are going to set it to false. And we are going to call a method load next post. Next step is to create the method load next post. Inside that method, we are going to load the next 6 posts. Let's create load next post method. Type load next post. We are going to make a post request to this URL and it will return the next 6 posts. With this post request, we also have to send the ID of the last post. Backend of this app uses this ID and returns next 6 posts. Now we are going to extract the last post from all post array. Create a variable last post and save the last post into the last post variable. Next step is to extract ID of the last post. And we are saving the last post ID into this last post ID variable. Now I am going to send this ID using form data as key value pairs. First we have to create a new form data. I am creating the new form data. After creating, append the ID. Next step is to create an HTTP request and send this ID to the backend. Now I am creating an HTTP post request to send this ID. As a response of this request, we are getting back next 6 posts. And we are going to save this post into this new post variable. Now hide the ngx spinner using spinner.hide method. Next step, I am going to check if new post is empty or not. If new post is empty, this means every post from the database is loaded and there is nothing left to load. In that case, change the value of not-empty post to false. Changing the value of non-empty post to false will prevent this app from calling any further request. In the next step, we are going to add new post to the already existing all post array. This dot all post is equal to this dot all post dot concat new post. This is a very important step. What we are doing here is adding all newly fetched post into already existing all post array. Now change node scrolly to true. This dot node scrolly equals true. Now save this project and let's see the final output. Okay, everything is working. Okay, I forgot to add an alert at the end. Everything else looks good. Now go to app.component.html. After the spinner, we are going to create an alert using Bootstrap classes. I am using Bootstrap classes to create this alert. You can also use pure CSS and create the same result. This ngIf condition only becomes true after loading every post from the database. So alert will be only displayed after loading every post. Everything is saved and compiled successfully. Now let's see the output. Everything is working. Okay, the alert is now showing. Thank you for watching this video.